The mystery of Ravenwood Mansion. On the edge of a small town stood the Ravenwood Mansion, an ancient, abandoned house that nobody dared to enter. People said it was cursed. Strange lights, footsteps in empty rooms, and whispers in the night were all part of the stories. One summer evening, for friends Lily, Ethan, Sophie, and Noah decided to explore it. "Come on, it's just an old house," Ethan said confidently, though his voice trembled a little. As they stepped inside, the door behind them slammed shut on its own. Sophie gasped. "Relax," Lily said, forcing a smile. "It's probably the wind." The mansion was dark and dusty. Old portraits stared down at them, their painted eyes almost lifelike. They explored room after room until they found a locked wooden door at the end of the hallway. "Let's see what's inside," Noah whispered. Nearby, Lily spotted a rusty key lying on the floor. When she picked it up, the air suddenly turned cold. "Maybe this belongs to the door," she said. She inserted the key, and with a loud click, the door creaked open. Inside, there was only an old rocking chair and a small wooden box on a dusty table. Ethan slowly opened the box and found a folded piece of paper. It read, "The one who wakes the shadows will never leave alive." Suddenly, the rocking chair began to move by itself. The lights flickered, a cold wind swept through the room, and shadows began crawling along the walls. "We need to get out of here," Sophie cried. But before they could leave, a deep whisper echoed, "You shouldn't have opened the box." The shadows swirled together, forming the shape of a man with glowing white eyes. "Who dares disturb my rest?" the figure boomed. Ethan stammered, "We didn't mean to. We'll leave." The ghostly figure pointed to the wooden box. "The curse cannot be broken unless the key is returned where it belongs." Noah remembered the strange carving on the front gate, a small stone slot shaped exactly like the key. "That must be it," he shouted. They ran through the dark hallways, chased by the swirling shadows. The floor creaked and cracked beneath them, threatening to collapse. Finally, they reached the front gate. Lily pushed the rusty key into the stone slot. In an instant, the shadows stopped moving. The ghostly figure faded away, whispering, "Thank you. The mansion is free." The heavy doors opened on their own, letting the friends escape into the cool night air. From that day on, Ravenwood Mansion stood silent and calm. But sometimes, on stormy nights, locals still swear they see a single shadow rocking slowly in the old chair. The secret of Blackwood Forest. Deep in the countryside, there was a dark and endless place called Blackwood Forest. The villagers said no one should enter after sunset because strange lights, whispers, and footsteps could be heard in the shadows. Most people avoided it, but 3 adventurous friends, Adam, Sarah, and Ben, were curious. One summer afternoon, they decided to camp near the edge of the forest. As the sun disappeared behind the trees, the forest grew silent. Not even birds were singing. Adam lit a small campfire while Sarah unpacked their food. Ben kept staring into the woods. "Do you hear that?" he whispered. There was a soft sound, almost like someone calling their names from deep inside the forest. "Probably just the wind," Adam said, but his voice was shaky. A few minutes later, they saw a faint blue light glowing between the trees. Ben stood up. "I want to see what that is." Sarah tried to stop him, but Adam agreed to follow. The 3 grabbed their flashlights and carefully walked into the woods. The deeper they went, the colder it became. Strange symbols were carved into the trees, and the ground was covered in old leaves. After walking for several minutes, they found an abandoned stone well. Next to it lay a broken wooden sign that read, "Do not disturb the guardian." Sarah frowned. "What guardian?" she asked. Before anyone could answer, they heard footsteps behind them. Turning around, they saw a narrow trail leading to an old wooden cabin hidden in the trees. Its windows were broken, and the door was slightly open. Against their better judgment, they entered the cabin. Inside, everything was covered in dust and cobwebs. On a wooden table lay a small box and a diary. Ben opened the diary and read aloud, "The crystal must remain hidden." If removed, the guardian will awaken. Adam slowly opened the box and found a small glowing crystal inside. Suddenly, the ground trembled and the door slammed shut. A low growl echoed through the cabin. From outside came a strange, hollow voice, "Leave the crystal or face the guardian." The three friends panicked. Ben quickly put the crystal back in the box, but the voice only grew louder. The wooden walls shook, and glowing eyes appeared in the darkness outside. They ran out of the cabin, following the faint blue light back through the forest. The whispers grew louder, and shadows seemed to chase them. Finally, they reached the campsite, breathless and terrified. As soon as they crossed the forest's edge, the sounds stopped and the lights faded. The next morning, they went back with a few villagers, but the cabin had vanished. The well was still there, but the box, the diary, and the crystal were gone. No one could explain it. Since that night, the three friends never went near Blackwood Forest again. But sometimes, on quiet nights, Adam swears he can still hear a soft whisper calling his name from deep within the trees. The treasure of Hollow Cave. In the small coastal town of Greenport, there was a mysterious place called Hollow Cave. The townspeople believed the cave was cursed because anyone who entered it never returned. For years, no one dared to go near it, but one day, four friends James, Clara, David, and Emily decided to explore it. The entrance to the cave was hidden behind thick bushes near the rocky shore. The waves crashed loudly as they approached, and a cold wind blew around them. "Are we really doing this?" Emily whispered nervously. James smiled. "It's just a cave. We'll be fine." Inside, the cave was dark and damp. Water dripped from the ceiling, and the air smelled salty and old. Clara switched on her flashlight, revealing strange symbols carved into the walls. "These look ancient," she said. David studied the carvings and noticed an arrow pointing deeper inside. "Let's follow it," he suggested. The further they went, the narrower the path became. Suddenly, they reached a massive stone door covered in seaweed and shells. In the center was a round hole, like something was missing. Emily noticed a shiny object stuck between the rocks nearby. She pulled it out. It was a small golden coin with a strange star symbol on it. When James placed the coin into the hole, the heavy stone door rumbled and slowly opened. Behind it was a hidden chamber glowing faintly with blue light. Inside, they found an old wooden chest sitting on a stone platform. David opened it carefully, expecting gold or jewels, but instead there was a rolled-up map and a crystal bottle filled with strange blue liquid. Clara unrolled the map and read the faded writing, "Beware the guardian of the tides. Only those with courage will claim the treasure." Before they could understand its meaning, the ground beneath them shook. The sound of rushing water grew louder, and from the shadows, a giant serpent-like creature rose out of an underground pool. Its scales shimmered like silver, and its glowing eyes locked onto the four friends. "Run!" James shouted. They sprinted back through the tunnels, but the serpent slithered quickly behind them. Water flooded the cave as waves crashed through hidden passages. Just when it seemed they were trapped, Clara noticed another arrow carved into the wall pointing toward a narrow tunnel. They squeezed through and finally saw some light ahead. Gasping for breath, they collapsed on the rocky shore outside. The serpent never followed them out of the cave. David still held the map tightly in his hand. "We didn't find the treasure," he said, "but maybe this map leads to something bigger." James smiled. "This is just the beginning." From that day, the friends promised they would return, but only when they were ready to face the guardian again. The Hollow Cave kept its secret for now, but the map hinted that somewhere deep inside still lay a treasure waiting to be discovered. The secret library. Once upon a time, in a small, quiet town, there was an old abandoned house at the end of Willow Street. People said it was haunted, but a curious 12-year-old girl named Lily didn't believe in ghosts. One sunny afternoon, she decided to explore the house. As she carefully pushed the creaky door open, a cool breeze brushed past her. Inside, everything was covered in dust and spider webs. While looking around, Lily noticed a tiny wooden door behind a broken shelf. She pulled it open and discovered a hidden staircase leading underground. Her heart raced, but she gathered her courage and went down. At the bottom, she found something incredible, a secret library filled with hundreds of glowing books. Each book had golden letters and a strange symbol on the cover. When she opened the first one, the words floated into the air and formed moving pictures, telling stories of ancient kingdoms, magical creatures, and forgotten worlds. Suddenly, one of the books began to glow brighter than the rest. A whisper echoed through the room, "Lily, you are the chosen one. Protect these stories, for they hold the power to change the future." From that day on, Lily became the guardian of the secret library, a place where dreams, magic, and history lived forever.